Today is one of those days, full of strong emotions and despair. Real despair, and it will never be forgotten. With my parents' arrival, we tried to make the most of it and get to know the Algarve a little better. But Francie was already in her 9th month and couldn't keep up anymore. And on the morning of the 12th, the contractions started. Francie managed to have breakfast, but soon her water broke. It was time to head to the maternity ward. That's it, my friends. We're here at Hospital de Portimão. Francie has checked in and is already there. In the emergency room, because at around 9:15 in the morning, her water broke. And now it's 11:15. We just got here. And we're going to get admitted. Because baby Eros is supposed to arrive today. Or maybe in the early morning. So expectations are high. Cheer for us. Everything will be fine. Francie is doing well. And that's it. Let's have faith. It'll work out. We were promptly attended to. The baby's and Francie's vital signs were monitored. They found that everything was going well. But labor was going to take a while. There was no dilation. So we decided to go back home and come back later.
I'm back here at the hospital, guys. I've been admitted. I just had a contraction. The contractions have started. It's been a while. I've been having contractions for 6.5 hours, but there's still no dilation. But all right, Eros is coming today.
Yes, we probably have a long night ahead of us.
But hey guys, just so you can get an idea of what the delivery room is like,
a delivery room just for Francie. Service, top notch. Here are the suitcases. Eros' suitcase and Francie's suitcase. Eros already has one before he's even born.
and he stays with me during labor. But on the other days, he goes home to sleep, sorry. And to make it worse, heartburn, right? Yeah, so he can only stay until 9:30 at night and comes back the next day at 9 in the morning. So that's why he doesn't have his suitcase.
And it seemed like everything was going well, but Francie kept having a lot of contractions. And little or almost no dilation.
Yeah, actually nothing, right?
Yes.
It was basically 0. 1 centimeter, 2 centimeters, so there was no progress in the dilation at all, even with really strong contractions. And we could follow all of this on the fetal monitor, right? Both Eros's heartbeat and also my contractions. So they were really strong. I couldn't take the pain anymore because they were coming every 2 minutes. So there wasn't enough time to have, relief, because as soon as one passed, another one would come. One would pass and another would come right after. And it wasn't having the effect it was supposed to have, which was to cause dilation so Eros could be born,
Yeah, the contraction that causes the pain is what causes the dilation, but that wasn't what was happening. And then, when it was already midnight, we knew he wasn't going to be born that day, right? Because there was no progress. Then the hospital anesthesiologist came to talk to Francie. Look, you're not going to be able to sleep tonight. And
you need to rest.
The baby won't be born anytime soon, so you need to rest.
To have strength.
To have strength for the delivery? Yes. When you go into labor, you have to be well and have strength for the baby to be born. And then he came and talked to us. He said the anesthesiologist offered an epidural, which is a type of anesthesia that relieves the pain from contractions. However, labor could progress, even without Francie feeling pain. It could happen that she can't move her legs anymore, so that's a downside. It was a concern. And she might still be able to move around. It depends on the person, right? So she had some contraindications. And at first, Francie didn't want to do it. She wanted to let things happen and all. Then some time passed, he came back. Look, do it. You'll thank me. You'll be able to rest and all. And then we decided to do it.
And so we chose to follow the doctor's advice, right? Because like it or not, he's really there doing this several times a day. He even mentioned that I was the 5th pregnant woman that night who was getting the epidural. But the epidural is a form of anesthesia, the one they actually inject into your spine, right? So there are several risks involved, right? That was a big concern. We didn't want to have to go through all those pharmaceutical interventions. I mean, medical ones, involving medication. Hey, my love. But yeah, there comes a time when you don't have a choice. You really have to follow what the doctors recommend.
That's right. You go with the doctor's recommendation, right? They say, no, this will be better for you. And then you end up choosing it, even if that wasn't the original plan. And then the procedure started, and it's a bit tense because it's a minor surgery. It's not just a single injection. Yeah. Anyway, we can't really explain it here because it's a medical surgical procedure.
We don't really understand, right?
So anesthesia is administered to numb the area, just so you have an idea, right? He gives anesthesia. And then the procedure was done. Then Francie lay down. The doctor, the anesthetist, left. 2 nurses stayed there with Francie, monitoring her. And that was the moment when...
1 second, I don't know.
Yeah, a minute later, France started feeling sick. Her blood pressure dropped a lot.
Everything went dark.
Thankfully, she was conscious. She started saying, look, I'm going to faint, I'm going to faint, I'm going to faint. And then the nurses started to do what they had to do, right?
And Eros's heartbeat?
The problem is that, well, those were some really tense minutes. I saw that Fran was starting to faint. Up to that point, everything was fine. Then the nurses called the head nurse. And so there were 2 nurses. And when everything started to happen, when I saw 7 people were in that room, including the anesthesiologist. He was there giving instructions and all. So it was no joke. It was really scary. Then I saw that they gave adrenaline to Francie. And she came back quickly, just like that.
But before that...
I hadn't noticed. The head nurse was poking Fran's belly. And then I saw that Eros's heartbeat had practically disappeared. Right away, the doctor also came in.
An obstetrician?
Who would deliver the baby, right, if it was necessary. Yeah. So the delivery room got crowded. Francie was given oxygen. She quickly came back. But Eros took a while to come back. And then it was a really complicated moment. Then Francie started calling out to Eros, to the nurses, to everyone there. I mean, like, I don't know how long that was, whether it was a minute or two, but it feels like 20 minutes, of pure desperation. Real desperation, because you see the nurses are nervous, so you can imagine how we feel not understanding anything. I was in there, but there was absolutely nothing I could do. Except, pray and hope that everything would turn out okay. Then Eros's heartbeat started to come back. Everything started to calm down. Francie stayed on oxygen and all that. Everything was fine. Everything went back to normal very quickly. Yeah, but since Francie got the adrenaline, that adrenaline also goes to Eros. And then sometime later, a few minutes after that, I don't know, maybe about 10.
It was actually seconds, I think. I don't know.
His heartbeat started to go up too much, and we can see all of this on the monitor, which is being watched all the time. Francie started to have high blood pressure again. Her blood pressure was monitored throughout. And everything was fine with Francie, but then Eros's heartbeat went up to 200 and wouldn't go down anymore, and then...
Over 200?
It went over 200, so it was an even more tense moment. And then the doctor came in, not the anesthesiologist, but the doctor who would perform the delivery if it was necessary. And he reassured us, saying, "Calm down, everything is fine. It'll go back to normal soon and everything will be okay." Then they gave more IV fluids to Francie, IV fluids with sugar and all that, But her heartbeat took a long time to get back to normal. It took about 2 hours.
Like the doctor was saying, calm down. But he, the anesthesiologist, the nurses, they all had that terrified look on their faces.
Everyone was very alert. And then I started thinking that a C-section could happen at any moment. But everything started working out for the best, right? And the hours went by. But then what happened? The anesthesia was for Francie to rest, to sleep. Who could sleep after something like that? In conclusion, I'm not sure if Francie slept for 2 hours. She only rested a bit while I just watched.
Monitor.
At that monitor there the whole night.
Du used to say, "Sleep, Francie, rest." I said, I'll only rest if you don't take your eyes off that monitor.
And I stayed there.
Even knowing that the nurses are monitoring from their room?
From their room they were monitoring, and they also came over all the time. Anyway, the care was, I thought it was very proper, like everything happened according to the protocols and everything worked out. Everything they did worked, right? They and the doctors, so everything worked out. Francie was the only one who didn't get any rest. And that's how the whole night went. Then at 8 in the morning, the team changed and another team came in. Then a nurse came in. I don't know if she was a nurse, midwife. We kind of don't really know, She just comes in and introduces herself as a nurse and starts the procedures. Then the labor had to progress. The labor had to...
Yes, because then when the epidural was given, which I understand shouldn't affect
The contractions stopped.
The contractions were supposed to continue, but they stopped. Then they stopped completely, so I spent the whole night without having any contractions. Yeah, and then it was 8 in the morning. Something had to happen. Something had to start happening so the dilation could progress.
Yeah, so they started. This nurse came, explained everything to us. It was to start the induction. Then the induction started around 9 in the morning, more or less. She came at 8 o'clock, explained everything, and so on. And then they started the induction.
With oxytocin.
At 9 o'clock. Oxytocin.
With oxytocin.
And then it started with a small dose. Francie started having contractions again. Francie felt the contractions, but she didn't feel any pain.
That's right.
She was still under anesthesia. And that's how it was. It went on like that the whole morning. Francie was having contractions and she didn't feel any pain. And then, yes, there started to be a little progress. 1 centimeter, 2 centimeters, 3 centimeters, as the hours went by. But it wasn't enough, so they increased the dose of oxytocin. And that's when around 11 in the morning, around noon, the doctor came and said, look, this labor needs to progress. Active labor needs to start, which is around 5 centimeters dilated, but Francie still didn't have that. So he suggested, even though the water had already broken, Francie was losing very little fluid. So he suggested to break the water completely.
That's right, and we get scared again, you know. But anyway, once again, he's a doctor, so we trusted him.
He explained, you know, he talked to us and we said, let's go, let's do it. You know, we were already there.
I was still feeling the effects of the epidural, so I wasn't feeling any pain. Everything was calm, you know. And then he finished breaking my water, and then fluid just kept coming out.
There was so much fluid. And then Francie had an advantage because she didn't lose movement in her legs. And then she started doing the exercises, you know.
Right there in bed.
The exercises work. I mean, it's clear that they work. Then she started losing a lot of fluid. And we could see that the contractions were getting stronger and stronger there.
They would show the chart. Look.
That's right.
Which was the maximum they measured?
I don't know what level that would be here, but it would reach the maximum, go beyond the maximum.
That was around noon, more or less.
And then things progressed and Francie started losing fluid and Eros's heartbeat was normal. Francie's blood pressure was also normal, so everything was fine again. And then Francie calmed down a little because the night was very tense.
And then they removed the epidural. It was around 1 in the afternoon, actually. The dose just ended, right? And then, to actually go into labor, which had already started because of the dilation, I also don't think I could still have the epidural because it had been removed. They applied some other anesthetic. Yeah, I felt my spine get really cold when they applied it.
They applied Buscopan.
No, but there was a catheter that they put in.
Buscopan.
Buscopan catheter? Wow, I felt my back like freezing as if it was pressed against a slab of ice like that.
That's what she said.
I don't know. It was from that point on that it started to wear off, the anesthesia started to lose its effect, and then the contractions started coming really strong like that.
But by then, Francie was already dilated. They say labor starts around 5 or 6 centimeters. So they checked the dilation again, and Francie was 5 centimeters dilated. That's it.
That's it. Thing.
Had started to progress around 2 in the afternoon, more or less.
Yeah, actually, I think it was 3 in the afternoon, and it had reached 5 centimeters, let's say. It took a while, right, to start happening.
That's right.
And I kept doing the exercises, and even with an extremely strong contraction, I kept focusing, you know, thinking that the pain would end at any moment, and the more I concentrated, the more smoothly things would go. So you have to surrender to the pain in the end.
It was around 2 in the afternoon, and then I said to Francie, if Eros is born by 4 o'clock, that's good. Then Francie said, oh, I think he should be born by 3. Seeing how things were going, I knew he wouldn't be born by 3.
And then the pain started, pain, unbearable pain. And then the nurse said to call her when I was having unbearable pain. And I asked them to call, they wouldn't come. Du was ringing the bell, Du went to the door to call, but no one came. And I was in pain, like those kinds of pains, really strong contractions one after another. The contractions I had the other day were strong, but nothing like what I felt at that moment. And remember, it was around 3 in the afternoon, and I was about 5 centimeters dilated, more or less. Then the doctor came in. It wasn't the nurses, the doctor came in. Because remember, in Portugal, it's the nurses who follow the whole process. The doctor only comes in if there's really some complication during the delivery. If not, it's all done by the nurses, the midwives. And then he came in, and then he did the exam, and he already felt it. You're already at 10 centimeters. You're ready to give birth. 4 in the afternoon.
The delivery began. So, in seconds, they set everything up inside that same room we just showed you. So, it all happened right there? Everything took place inside that room? In seconds, everything was set up.
I had lost a lot of fluid during that time, you know, so I was wearing a diaper so I wouldn't soak the whole bed. And anyway, at 4 in the afternoon, even though I was already 10 centimeters dilated, she said, push, now your son is ready to be born. And then I still wasn't able to, at that moment when she told me to push, which was at 4 in the afternoon, to focus on waiting for the contraction, feeling the pain, and pushing the baby out. Like, it's something that your brain really has to work for, you know? And then, I don't know if she thought it wouldn't progress anyway, but she ended up putting on another disposable diaper, another adult diaper.
And you were already in the birthing position. Everything was really moving toward the birth.
Right? Yeah, but she had me lie a little on my side on the stretcher and said, look, keep focusing on pushing because your baby is coming out millimeter by millimeter. I thought, millimeter by millimeter?
Guys, you have no idea. This woman turned into a lioness.
What do you mean millimeter by millimeter? Then I remembered a situation where recently someone very close to me went through childbirth and she spent 5.5 hours in the pushing stage and it was really hard and I said, I don't want to go through that.
It's bad for the baby too.
Yeah, especially for the baby who had to be put in the incubator to settle down because it was so many hours of suffering, you know. I said, I don't want my son to go through that, to suffer. And then, I don't know where the strength came from, you know, but it came, and I was in a diaper, guys, in a diaper. Then, I focused, guys, seriously, it was about 4 contractions, and Eros was born.
About 20 more minutes, it was just me and Francie alone in the room.
Yeah, and I still had the diaper on, and I was screaming, take this diaper off me. And Dudu was there holding my hand, but he didn't understand that I was giving birth either.
I didn't realize he was already being born. I said, Francie, take off this diaper. He's being born. I said, but you can't. They just left.
Call someone, for God's sake.
So I called. Then a girl came over because no one else was showing up. It's really strange. This situation is a bit weird. You're there, the person has been with you all day, but when it's time for the delivery, it's someone else.
And then everyone disappeared.
In a little while, everyone disappeared, everyone left, the doctor left, everyone left. It was just me and Francie. To sum up, Eros was born with only Francie and me in the room.
Yeah, I was there, I gave birth alone.
They came running in and saw he was already coming out. Francie was wearing a diaper.
I pulled the diaper off like this, kind of to the side so he could come out.
The little guy with all that hair was already there. And I saw him coming out. Then the nurse, her part came in, then it was over.
They're helping him come out because his head had already come out, literally. And I ended up giving birth alone, and I didn't expect it to be like that. I thought there would be nurses there holding my hand, helping.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, but everyone there to make things go smoothly. But no, guys, it was really just me alone.
But the pushing stage was really fast, honestly. I think they didn't believe you would be able to give birth so quickly. And in the end, even though it was 24 hours of labor, the actual moment of birth was quick.
It was about 1 hour and 20 minutes, let's say, after the dilation actually started. 1 hour of dilation, 20 minutes of pushing.
Eros was born facing us. So when she lifted Eros like this, he was already looking at us. He came out crying and nothing at all needed to be done. And he immediately came to Francie's arms. Let's do Francie. And then the images speak for themselves. He's already hearing your voice. He's already nursing. How cute.
He latched on well already.
And then
To cut the umbilical cord.
I cut it.
Hey, we waited the necessary time for him to get what he needed. These things, you know, they're very careful here in Portugal.
He stayed like that for a few minutes, you know.
Skin to skin cutting the cord.
Skin to skin with Francie, he was still attached to the umbilical cord. Only after that was the cord cut, and I was the one who cut it.
Meanwhile, they were doing what needed to be done to me, you know, cleaning and everything else.
Stitches.
Stitches, you know. And anyway, it was, despite all that, I think it was a beautiful birth, you know, because it was the birth that I had, that I really had to focus a lot on strength, on God, and manage my thoughts. You know, I'm a fearful person, right? And in childbirth, it wouldn't be any different. But I always say that fear is something that doesn't stop me from doing the things I want to do. We have to at least know how to control it, right? So at first I'm always very scared, but then I start focusing and I get rid of that fear so things can flow. And I think that's what I did, and I was always praying a lot too, you know. During the delivery, I also thought of my grandmother. My grandmother Celestina had 15 children by vaginal birth. In fact, many of those children were delivered by Dudu's grandmother.
My grandmother, Mrs. Florentina,
who was a midwife in our town. So these inspirations, they come to me in the moment, but they come very quickly. And another thing I did during all those 24 hours was to keep the rosary, you know, Our Lady of Fatima's rosary with me. I don't know if you noticed.
Of course.
I was holding it the whole time to give me strength, to help me focus. And well, it's faith, concentration, it's a lot of things happening there. And it's the most magical moment for a woman, without a doubt, at the same time that it is.
It's a pretty tough day.
It's hard, but today I really understand what it means to be a mother, you know? What it means to receive this gift from God, you know?
And you saw it coming out.
And the moment Eros was born, he was already like, he looks just like me.
I thought he looked a lot like me. I thought he was so tiny. Everyone kept telling us, look, he's really big. He'll have to be born early. I was even scaring Francie a little, but we thought he was small.
I didn't think so. I thought that
when I first saw him, I thought he was tiny.
3 kilos, 600 grams, 50 centimeters. So I think it was the right size so he wouldn't suffer. It was ideal.
Yeah, that was the birth story. It was hard. But in the end, everything went well. Even with the things that didn't go so well. Later on, it turned out that the anesthesia was good for Francie because she had a lot of strength when Eros was born. So in the end, everything turned out really well. And now, it's a new story to tell.
Yeah, it's a beautiful story, by the way, and we'll have all the time to share it with you. We know you're very happy too. With Eros coming into our lives, and we're very happy too. I think that now we can really say that our life is complete.
Mom is here, strong and steady. A lioness. Vaginal birth. Wonderful. And Eros is here. First little nap. Look at that, what a little angel. Sleeping. All neat. He hardly cried at all. I have to speak very softly because if he hears our voices, he wakes up. He's already nursed. And now he's going to take a nap. This is a recovery room. We've already left the delivery room where Francis gave birth, where Eros was born. And we're here in this recovery room, so Eros is here. I already managed to get him to sleep. He's sleeping like an angel, waiting, because we're going to the other room.
Obstetrics.
Obstetrics. Yeah, we're going to another room in the obstetrics ward.
So that's where we stay, right? When it's a vaginal birth? It's 2 nights. We're speaking softly because of Eros, right? So Du can stay with me during the day, but at night he has to go home. But it's all right. For now, everything's fine. That's it, right? We just have to keep an eye on things now to make sure everything really is okay, right? With Eros and me, but everything's fine.
Yeah, Eros is fine, Francis is fine too, but everyone has to stay here for monitoring and observation. They have to check Francis's blood pressure and they need to monitor the bleeding because she's going to have several days of bleeding. So they'll keep monitoring all of that before they can be discharged. Eros seems to... Right? He's doing fine. He's already nursed. He was born crying. Strong little lungs. And he already nursed and now he's sleeping. It seems everything is going well with him too. So now we just have to wait? Now there will still be a few days in the hospital. 2 days, honey.
2 nights.
2 nights.
Are you staying here tonight? And 1 more night? It's going to be 3 days, right?
Yeah.
It's 3 nights because I spent the night here too.
That's right. Francie's labor lasted exactly 24 hours.
No, I'm fine. There's no way not to smile, right, guys? Isn't this the happiest day of your life? There's no way not to smile. Or cry with joy. There's no way. She is yet another perfect, beautiful child. Just the way we always dreamed.
Anything goes, you can cry, you can laugh.
It's a gift, our miracle, right, everyone?
Yeah.
It's a gift from God, announced by God, and came into the world in a very, very beautiful way too, to mark my life. Who's Mommy's beautiful baby? Is this Mommy's beautiful baby?
And now we are here in the recovery room. He's there moving around. Francie is resting. She needs to stay lying down. She needs to get plenty of rest. Drooling here and drooling.
He is very beautiful. So perfect. And before you ask, his eyes are really blue. He got his eyes from his mom.
It's a shame I can't stay. As you can see, there's no room here. So Francie will have to stay here alone with Eros. I have to go home and can only return tomorrow morning. Good night, son. Good night.
How cute.
The day is starting here in Albor. My first day as a father. I'm leaving home to go meet Francie and Eros. Because, as I already said, I can't sleep there with Francie and them. So I had to come spend the night at home, but I also grabbed some things she needs. I'm bringing her a snack. So, it's not all bad, but I definitely wanted to be there because for her it was a bit of a tough night since now she has to stay with him all the time. And there are a lot of demands, right? She's also learning everything. So it's a shame I couldn't stay there, but let's move on. Good morning, everyone. I've already eaten and I'm already resting. And now I'm going to let Mom rest. Mom needs to rest. She stayed up all night, of course. And that's it.
Eros had gas.
And Eros had colic and he was vomiting. He had his first poops, all normal things.
From birth?
From the birth, from a newborn. Francie couldn't sleep before, but now she's going to rest. Dad will keep watch. And look at how we are now. Eros just finished nursing, and now she's already taking a little nap. Look at that. She's glued to Mommy. Look, you're yawning. He's very quiet now. I think he's about to sleep a bit. We've spent the whole day here together. He's looking for more milk. That's all he wants, milk and sleep. He hears Francie's voice and he wants to nurse.
He wants to nurse more, my God.
Everything is great with him. He has improved a lot from yesterday to today. He's nursing a lot. He's doing his business. Look at Eros, all grown up, 24 hours after birth, and he's already sleeping in the crib. That's great. I'll show you what the recovery room is like here. There are 3 beds, right? So it can accommodate up to 3 children. But I saw that they tried to make sure you stay alone. So there was another couple here, but they left this afternoon and now we're alone here. Of course, if more babies are born, more will come. But for now, we're alone. Here is where we bathe the baby. We've already given Eros his first bath. Here's the changing table. Pretty cool, right? I really like this changing table here. So it would be nice to have one of these at home. Over there is my KFC that I just ate. I had some Colonel Sanders KFC. It was on sale. Buy one, get 2. And here's the bathroom. But the bathroom is only for the moms, so I have to go to the bathroom in the hallway. Right, Francie?
Uh-huh, and I'm going to try to sleep. I'm tired.
Francie is really tired, 2 days without sleep. Eros's delivery took 24 hours, so Francie is really tired. She needs to rest. That's why I'm here now, to keep an eye on him. And she can rest, but we spent the whole day together here, but he didn't let Francie sleep. He wanted to nurse many times and poop and stuff and stuff and stuff and stuff and things, so Francie couldn't sleep. But now he fell asleep. He nursed a lot, so now he's going to sleep just a little. And mommy too. After 3 days in the hospital, it's time for the family to go back home. Hi, my love, shall we go home? Huh? Eros? I've already taken a shower, I combed my hair. And now I want to leave. I want to go home, right? Shall we go home? Shall we? Shall we go home? Hey, shall we? And he liked the baby car seat, huh? He'll be a traveler like his parents.
I think that's exactly it.
He's sleeping. Let's go. Let's go home. Let's go, my son. Let's go. And here we go on this little big man's first trip.
There are more out there.
He arrived. Look who arrived.
How beautiful.
The car trip was great.
Nice.
Did you like the rocking motion?
He slept happily.
Welcome to your home.
I'm going to see what it is.
Hi, my love, did you miss me? I missed you so much. I brought a little human.
And this is how our days have been here in this family room. Layla is always around, close to us, sleeping. Lila hasn't changed her behavior much with Eros's arrival, if anything. She only got startled in the first few days when Eros cried a little. Then she got a bit nervous, worried, and here we are. And tell us a little about how Eros's days have been, Francis. He's breastfeeding very well.
Yes, thank God, breastfeeding really well. Look, he's already passing a little gas here. His intestines, look, are working really well too. We are doing our follow-up care here at the health center, which is like a health clinic in Brazil, right? And he's already gaining weight. He's already regained his birth weight because he lost 300 grams in the hospital. But he's already regained it. And he regained it in just about a week, so it was super fast. And now I think he's just going to gain even more weight. Right? A healthy baby. Sweetheart, the only problems he's really having are the gas pains, which is
Colic?
colic, you know? But other than that, everything was super calm. Until the third night, things got a little more tense for us, just because we were adapting. The first 2 nights in the hospital were really hard. But the third night was at home. It was a little better. It kept getting better, you know? No 2 nights are ever the same. But we're already able to sleep well. There are days when we almost get to rest, only waking up for feeding. Other times he gets a little fussy from colic.
Can I say something? Everyone can see that you look great. So,
It's the support network.
yeah, it's a sign that everything is going well. Of course, having my dad and my mom here also helps a lot. My father takes care of Layla a little. He takes her for walks when I can't. My mother takes care of the house. She's cooking for us. She also helps take care of Eros, so
That's essential too, because it's not just for Eros's arrival, but for my recovery as well, right? Oh my god, it's time for his nap.
talking a little about mom here who left the hospital hurt, right? I think the recovery has been very good.
It's going well?
It's going really well, right? Even though the day of the delivery was really intense, everything has been progressing really well.
And we usually say, right, that the arrival of a newborn is a magical moment in our lives and we have to take it one day at a time. Because there's a lot of love involved, but there are challenges too, right? So, my love. And I think it's time for number 2, my love.
I think so.
He's pushing to go number 2. There isn't, yeah. After breastfeeding.
The first week, honestly, our days are all about him. Before we know it, it's already 10 o'clock at night. Seriously, the day goes by without us even noticing.
And the days are wonderful.
But it's been really nice. We prepared for this, right? So we were waiting for this day. Yeah, Eros was born at 39 weeks and that's it. So he arrived a little earlier. That was also good because mom was already Francie couldn't handle it anymore.
Eat, sleep.
She couldn't eat anymore and she couldn't sleep anymore. It was really complicated, a lot of back pain. I was even starting to lose some weight. Another thing I wanted to point out, Francie only gained 6 kilos during the pregnancy. And a week later, she had already lost almost all of it.
Yeah, it was just the swelling, right?
It's already back to normal, so that part was really good too. And the way Eros nurses, you'll get really slim again.
Not again, no, because I wasn't slim before. But that's okay. We're not worried about that. We're concerned about health, as long as Eros is healthy and getting strong. For us, little by little to get back to our life on the road too, that's one of our goals. And to see him doing well, that's the main thing, right, my love? To see you doing well. And guys, you keep saying that he looks just like Doo-Doo, but he has my blue eyes, okay? Let that be very clear.
The good thing is his hair isn't like his father's.
It is?
He was born with a lot of hair.
I believe his straight hair comes from his grandparents.
You're sleepy, my son. It's nice to play with your hair, isn't it? Ooh, 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 ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh.
He is very dear.
This light is harsh, isn't it, son? He has his little eyes closed now, falling asleep. Anyway, we also want to thank everyone for the messages. We took a little while to post this video because it's been a week.
There's no need to justify it. I think people understand too.
There was no way I could stop and edit the video because at the same time we've been home for a week. Eros has already gone to the clinic for
The heel prick test.
the heel prick test. He's already visited the clinic twice and has more follow-ups, so we have to keep going out.
Today, we're going to the clinic again.
Today he's going to the pediatrician. We also have to register him, so every day there's something that needs to be done. But we just want to thank all of you. That's all we can do, right, Francie?
Yes, especially God.
And God?
Because if we're doing well here, it's definitely because God has been by our side. And also thank you all once again for your prayers. Many people messaged us on Instagram saying they were praying. By the way, guys, we created an Instagram account for Eros. It's called Mundo de Eros. We will leave the QR code here so you can access it, or you can just search by the name Mundo de Eros.
If you have Instagram too, follow us there, because the news about Eros's birth came out a little earlier there, since it doesn't require editing and all that.
It's easier.
It's easier, but of course the content here is much more complete, so don't forget to watch here on YouTube, because it's always more complete. But over there we can keep the information a little more up to date.
We're posting on Viago porque preciso. And on Mundo de Eros. On Mundo de Eros, there are some exclusive photos that we're posting there. I'm posting the story of the first night. I'll post the story of the second night. Later, I'll also post the birth story there more briefly. And that's it, right, honey?
That's it.
Follow us over there because for now it'll be faster for us to keep you all informed there. That way you won't be worried, right? We don't want you to worry either.
No way.
It's just that sometimes we really can't manage to update the information here for you. It's not that at all. We care a lot about you guys, our YouTube audience too.
But Eros required all our attention, and that's what we did.
He's getting calmer. Now he's more peaceful.
Yeah. Every day is different. No 2 days are the same. Every day he keeps evolving. In summary, we are very happy and grateful, and very thankful to everyone and to God. We thank everyone once again. And life goes on.
We'll keep showing it here.
We'll keep showing how all of this will evolve. We'll always keep showing it here, just like we've been doing for 6 years now.
Wow. All of this, right?
All of us.
It's true. It'll be 6 years this year. All right. Thanks so much for your support.
I'm the one who should thank you for giving me this precious gift.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
God bless you all.
Bye.